come out of their mouths and the nesting evils in collective hearts. He says that it will kindle a fire inside the nation. Why? Because the sanctuaries of the nation are profaned. And this nation will be turned to ashes upon the earth in the eyes of everyone who sees you. Ezekiel 28:18. And so here's the message the Lord gave me. America will be hit with drone rocket warfare, which she has used for most of her modern war career. She will be hit with drone rockets as well as real rockets coming from other countries. She will be hit with rockets from North Korea and South Korea. Both of these countries will attack America. They have been enriching uranium, and they have capabilities that America doesn't know about. So I've been speaking about the fact that America will be hit with missiles, hit with rockets, which I guess is missiles, and also drone rocket warfare for quite some time. But in the beginning, I must admit it was a little puzzling to me. And that's because I know a drone to be those little small things that people buy for fun. And I know that they were a bit sophisticated, but that was the picture I had. But then I later learned that drones for war are actually very big. I later found out that they are actually very big, at the same size as planes. And this is how they are defined on the internet. Drones are defined as unmanned aerial vehicles, remotely controlled aerial systems that are used to carry out lethal counterterrorism strikes, as well as surveillance and other non-lethal operations. So this word lethal right here means that these things can actually carry bombs. They can carry bombs. And I think this is the method of flying to other countries without losing any personnel, because you go and you release weapons, you go and you release missiles, but there's no pilot in there and there are no soldiers in there. So there's no risk. There's no risk of anyone getting hurt if anyone from the ground should fire something back. So there is that. And God is saying that America has fought most of her modern career by using these things. So she flies these unmanned aerial things, and it's written here because Google basically is an American search engine. So it's saying counterterrorism strikes. That's how the drone is defined. It's defined as a counterterrorism thing, weapon. But at the same time, America has used these things when no one has done anything to her. America has used these drones, saying that she was countering terrorism in Iraq, and she couldn't prove the terrorism. So all that happened is she alleged the terrorism and then used these things, and she relies on them heavily for war. I know President Obama was strongly tied to using this type of weaponry when he was in power. So God says that that's exactly how this country will be bombed. People will use drones and bomb America, as well as sending real missiles here. So I guess they're actually going to fly overhead with actual pilots also dropping bombs, because in one of the prophecies that is called Russia, War, and Contamination, where God was speaking of impact zones, what I saw there, he said, is that the Russians will drop cluster bombs and they will not do any reconnaissance beforehand. So he says, just as America goes into these countries, she doesn't really do reconnaissance. She just says, oh, this area is a place where they're building bombs. And then she just drops the bombs, regardless of if it's a school, if it's a residential area, if it's partly desert and also partly a village. They just drop bombs. And he said that the way that America conducted warfare in Iraq, by just dropping those rapid fire bombs that are called carpet bombing, the same thing will happen here. So he said the Russians will not bother to map out if it's a residential area, if it's a school, if it's a hospital. They will just drop bombs and do carpet bombing, exactly as America has done. And then the Lord is here mentioning North and South Korea, saying both of these countries will attack the United States. North Korea is an understandable and a well-known enemy, but South Korea is actually a place that America has military bases. So South Korea has always been a traditional ally And there's something I will add at the end of this prophecy. In fact, I might as well add it now, is that the Lord brought forth some very strong words against the United States of America today. Today is December the 11th, 2023. And there is at least a 20-minute snippet of strongly worded prophecy, live prophecy that came from prayer that we were having today with intercessors on the line. And this prayer, in the height of prayer, where we were seeking the Lord for things that were not related to this specifically, definitely not related to war or anything like that. Very, very strong words of the Lord began to come out, talking about how America is going to be hit unprovoked, that America will be hit unprovoked, and that she will fall, and that she has enemies, and that even her so-called traditional allies can't stand her.